He moves through life differently from everyone else, not because he's afraid of taking risks, but because he filters them through a lens most people never develop. While others rush into opportunities, relationships, and decisions just to feel movement, a Sigma pauses. He studies the long-term cost, the hidden consequences, the energy required, and the person he will become afterward. And that pause is not hesitation, it's precision. It's the silent calculation that protects him from regret years before regret even has a chance to grow. This risk filter isn't logical alone, it's psychological. It comes from the countless moments he trusted the wrong things, invested in the wrong people, or carried weights that weren't his to bear. Over time, he learned to sense instability before it happens, to walk away from excitement disguised as opportunity, and to say no to anything that threatens his peace, mission, or values. Most people call him distant or hard to impress. In reality, he simply refuses to gamble with his future. He knows exactly what one wrong decision can cost, and he won't let anyone else pay that price for him. Before we go deeper into how his risk filter works, the signs, the mindset, and the silent strategies that keep him regret-free, I want to ask you something. Do you make decisions fast, or do you calculate quietly like a Sigma? Drop one word in the comments: fast or filter. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to UltraWise, because understanding yourself is good, but mastering yourself is where everything begins. He studies long-term consequences, not short-term excitement. A Sigma male lives by a rule most people never learn. The future is always louder than the moment. While others chase the rush of immediate gratification, he steps back and watches the chain reaction hidden beneath every choice. He has learned, often through silent hardship, that every impulsive decision plants a seed, good or bad, and the harvest always comes. So instead of being seduced by the thrill of the now, he imagines the version of himself he will become months, years, even decades later. He studies the ripple effect, how today's emotion might become tomorrow's mistake, how a temporary pleasure can evolve into a permanent consequence, how a single yes said too quickly can lock him into commitments that drain his life force. And because he sees that trajectory so clearly, he refuses to gamble with his peace, his energy, or his future self. He walks through the world like a strategist, moving pieces on a board only he can see. When opportunities arrive, wrapped in excitement, he slows his breathing and analyzes the cost. Not just monetary cost, emotional, psychological, spiritual. Does this choice expand his freedom or shrink it? Does it build momentum or create debt? Will it strengthen the man he is becoming or keep him trapped in familiar cycles? This internal audit is so natural to him that people assume he is cold or indecisive, when in reality he is protecting a life that took years to build. He knows that the wrong door, once stepped through, can take months to exit. He knows that one emotional decision can undo months of patience and work. So he watches, studies, calculates quietly while others rush forward blindly. This long-term thinking gives him an advantage that isn't obvious until much later. While others burn out chasing highs, he grows steadily from stable ground. While others regret impulsive relationships, business decisions, or emotional reactions, he stands alone in the calm center of his choices. His restraint is not fear, it is discipline. His hesitation is not weakness, it is foresight. And the world eventually notices the difference. Because the man who studies consequences becomes the man who rarely apologizes for his past, rarely explains his mistakes, and rarely carries regret. He does not stumble into chaos. He steps around it long before it forms. That is the quiet power of a Sigma male. He wins not by rushing, but by refusing to be distracted by anything that doesn't build the life he knows he is meant to live. He trusts patterns over promises, avoiding traps most people fall into. A Sigma male learned early that words are cheap, but patterns never lie. He has watched too many people speak with warmth and intention, only to act with inconsistency and self-interest. Over time, he realized that promises create illusions, but patterns reveal truth. So he built a personal rule. Never judge a person by what they claim they will do. Judge them by what they repeatedly choose to do. This rule saved him from emotional traps that most people walk into with open eyes. When others get swept away by apologies, charm, or temporary effort, he studies the rhythm of behavior that came before. He knows that a person's history is the clearest prediction of their future, and he refuses to ignore what is already in motion. When someone enters his life with excitement, validation, or big declarations, he doesn't melt into the attention the way others might. Instead, he observes. He watches how they behave when the excitement fades, when things become inconvenient, when honesty costs something, when effort requires consistency. He doesn't need a mistake to be dramatic or catastrophic. Small things are often louder to him than major events. A repeated delay, a subtle avoidance, a broken promise disguised as a misunderstanding. He sees the truth behind these patterns long before the average person even notices something is off. And because he refuses to lie to himself, he distances himself quietly and decisively. No confrontation, no drama, no emotional entanglement, just a silent departure before the trap closes. This is why people often say he is hard to fool. It's not because he is paranoid. It's because he watches reality instead of intentions. He has no interest in being promised loyalty. He looks for proof in small daily choices. He has no desire to be told he's valued. He studies how he is treated when no one is watching. He doesn't trust explanations. He trusts patterns of behavior repeated over time. And this makes him nearly impossible to manipulate, because manipulation depends on words, not patterns. Someone can sweet talk, plead, or perform, but they cannot fake consistency. By trusting patterns, he avoids the heartbreak others walk into. He dodges the business deal built on charisma rather than integrity. He steps away from friendships that drain rather than support. He ends connections before they become cages. And most importantly, he avoids the kind of regrets that haunt people who believed promises instead of watching what was right in front of them. He filters people by their consistency, not their charm or intensity. A Sigma male learned long ago that charm is a performance and intensity is often temporary. What matters, the only thing that truly reveals who someone is consistency. So when people enter his life with dazzling charisma, emotional warmth, or intense connection, he doesn't get swept away. He watches. He waits. He measures. Not because he is cold, but because he knows that anyone can be impressive for a day, a week, or even a month. What he wants to see is who they are when the excitement fades, when they are tired, when they don't get their way, when effort becomes inconvenient. Consistency is the one currency he trusts, the only standard that can't be faked for long, and the filter that quietly determines who stays and who disappears from his world. While others fall for emotional highs or impressive first impressions, he observes what lies beneath the surface. He watches how someone treats people who can't offer them anything. He pays attention to how they behave when they think no one is noticing. He listens to the gap between what they promise and what they deliver. And in that gap, he reads character with absolute precision. If someone shows up only when it benefits them, he doesn't argue or confront, he simply notes the pattern and adjusts his distance. If someone's behavior fluctuates depending on their mood, attention, or audience, he doesn't take it personally. He sees inconsistency as a warning, a signal that this person lacks the stability he requires around him. This ability to filter people by their patterns, not their energy, saves him from emotional chaos. It protects him from entering relationships with people who shine brightly at first but burn out quickly. It keeps him grounded when others are blinded by attraction, excitement, or intensity. He knows that the most dangerous individuals aren't the openly flawed, they're the inconsistently good. The ones who offer just enough affection to keep someone hopeful, just enough effort to appear committed, just enough charm to distract from their instability. The Sigma doesn't fall for this. He filters them out long before they can create damage. Because of this filtration system, his circle is small but exceptionally solid. The people who make it through his filter are those who show up the same way on good days and bad. Those whose loyalty isn't loud but dependable. Those whose actions match their words without needing applause. And once he identifies someone with real consistency, he invests deeply. Not because he is selective for its own sake, but because he knows that consistency, not charm, not intensity, is the foundation of relationships that never become a regret. He avoids emotional decision-making, choosing clarity over impulse. A Sigma male learned the hard way that emotional decisions come with the highest price. They feel right in the moment, they feel justified, they feel urgent, but they almost always lead to regret. So he built a rule within himself: never decide while triggered, pressured, or overwhelmed. When emotions surge, he steps back. When someone demands an answer now, he withdraws. When a situation feels heated or explosive, he lets silence settle before choosing direction. This isn't avoidance, it's discipline. It's the understanding that clarity is never available during emotional storms, and that impulse is the enemy of good judgment. He treats emotions like weather, temporary, shifting, often deceptive. He knows a moment of anger can destroy what years of effort built. He knows excitement can blur red flags into fantasies. He knows loneliness can make the wrong person seem right. So instead of acting inside the emotion, he observes it. He studies what triggered it, what it's trying to tell him, and whether it aligns with the reality in front of him. This is where his power comes from. He separates feeling from fact. While others drown in emotional noise, he waits for the water to clear before moving. When a conflict arises, he doesn't shout, react, or lash out. He pauses. He distances himself from the battlefield long enough to see where the real threat lies. When confronted with temptation, an opportunity, a person, a shortcut, he doesn't rush toward it. He evaluates whether it matches his long-term direction or if it's merely a distraction packaged as desire. While others chase the highs of emotional impulses, he chooses the stability of calculated action. This gives him a level of self-control people mistake for coldness, when in reality it is wisdom earned through scars he refuses to repeat. Because he avoids emotional decision-making, he rarely regrets his moves. He doesn't burn bridges out of anger. He doesn't bind himself to people out of neediness. He doesn't sabotage progress because of sudden fear or doubt. His path may look slow compared to those driven by impulse, but it's steady, intentional, and built on solid ground. In the long run, he ends up miles ahead, not because he moves faster, but because he moves smarter. He knows that clarity is power, and that any decision made without it is simply a gamble disguised as confidence. He walks away from any opportunity that threatens his peace or autonomy. A Sigma male has a different definition of opportunity than most people. While others chase anything that looks shiny, promising, or socially rewarding, he evaluates every offer through a single filter. Will this cost me my peace or my autonomy? If the answer is yes, even slightly, he walks away without hesitation. No matter how profitable, exciting, or prestigious something appears, he refuses to sacrifice the two things that keep him grounded and powerful. Peace is where he thinks clearly. Autonomy is where he decides freely. Anything that risks either one becomes a trap disguised as progress, and he has learned to see those traps long before they close. He understands that some opportunities come wired with invisible chains. A job promotion that demands constant availability. A relationship that slowly consumes personal space. A partnership that seems generous but carries hidden expectations. To the average person, these chains feel normal, part of the price of success or connection. But the Sigma sees the trade instantly. He knows that once peace is disturbed, clarity disappears. Once autonomy is compromised, self-direction weakens. And he refuses to be shaped by environments or people who require him to shrink his identity just to fit their terms. So he detaches early, quietly, before entanglement begins. His walk-away power is not arrogance, it's foresight. He has watched too many people accept opportunities they weren't ready for, commit to relationships they couldn't sustain, or say yes to responsibilities that slowly eroded their well-being. He has seen people trade freedom for validation, trade mental health for ambition, trade identity for acceptance. And with each observation, he carved a rule into his spirit. Nothing is worth losing myself. This rule guides every decision he makes. It's why he avoids toxic workplaces, even if they pay well. It's why he distances himself from people who drain his emotional battery. It's why he declines commitments that feel misaligned, no matter how flattering the offer is. His ability to walk away makes him unpredictable to others, but deeply consistent to himself. People cannot control him because they cannot bribe him with attention, promises, or status. They cannot guilt him into staying where he doesn't belong. They cannot manipulate him with scarcity or urgency. His peace is not negotiable, and his autonomy is not for sale. And this is what makes him powerful. While others get trapped by choices they rushed into, he keeps his life clean, sharp, and aligned. Every exit strengthens him. Every refusal protects him. Every step away ensures that his path remains his own, not shaped by pressure, but built by intention. He tests risks quietly before committing, reducing the chance of failure. A Sigma male never steps into uncertainty the way most people do. Others rush toward potential rewards, driven by excitement, validation, or pressure to prove something. But the Sigma operates from a colder, sharper logic. Observe, test, verify, then move. Before he commits to anything, an opportunity, a relationship, a business, a new direction, he quietly runs small experiments in the background. He gathers data without drawing attention, studies outcomes without emotional bias, and measures the true cost before he invests even a fraction of himself. To outsiders, it looks like hesitation. To him, it's precision, because he knows one truth most people ignore. Failure comes loudly, but its warning signs are always quiet first. He approaches risk the way a strategist approaches a battlefield. Not by charge, but by reconnaissance. He listens more than he speaks, watches more than he joins, and tests more than he declares. If a partnership interests him, he'll observe how the person handles pressure before trusting them. If an opportunity seems promising, he'll explore its environment before investing his time. If a lifestyle shift calls to him, he'll simulate it privately before reshaping his entire life. Every choice becomes a controlled experiment where he can fail safely, learn quickly, and pivot silently. And because he makes these micro moves before any major commitment, he rarely faces the kind of catastrophic outcomes that break others. This quiet testing is not fear, it's strength. It protects his freedom while sharpening his intuition.
He knows that reacting impulsively is how people end up stuck in commitments they never chose consciously. He sees how others get trapped in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, or projects that collapse because they jumped in without clarity. The Sigma refuses to gamble with his life like that. He treats every decision as a long-term investment, not a temporary thrill. And his silent trial and error process gives him something most people never achieve: control over outcomes rather than regret over consequences. His strategy confuses people because they cannot track his movements. They don't see his preparation, only his results. They don't see his data gathering, only his precision. They don't see his small tests, only the moment he moves with unshakable confidence. To them, it appears he succeeds effortlessly. But his success is engineered long before anyone notices, built from hidden calculations, quiet experiments, and disciplined patience. While others fail loudly, he fails privately and learns quietly. This is why, when he finally commits, it looks like he never needed to test anything at all. But the truth is simple. He succeeds so consistently because he tested every risk long before the world saw him take it. He chooses the path with the highest long-term return, not the fastest reward. A Sigma male learned long ago that chasing quick wins is how people waste years without building anything real. While the world is hypnotized by immediacy, fast money, fast validation, fast recognition, he moves in the opposite direction. His decisions are not designed for applause next week, but for advantage 10 years from now. He is not seduced by shortcuts because he understands their hidden cost. They collapse as quickly as they appear. Instead, he seeks the path that matures with him, compounds quietly, and positions him far beyond those who sprint blindly for short-term gratification. To the Sigma, the only reward worth pursuing is the one that continues to pay off long after the excitement fades. He approaches life like a long game of strategy. Whether it's career, relationships, personal growth, or finance, he looks past the surface and studies the trajectory. What does this choice lead to 5 years from now? What invisible chains come with it? What strengths will it demand from him, and what weaknesses will it expose? While others obsess over immediate pleasure, he measures sustainability. While others grab the low-hanging fruit, he plants trees. And while others burn energy in cycles of rush, regret, and restart, he builds a foundation that quietly elevates him even when he's not trying. This long-term mentality is why he often seems detached from society's tempo. He doesn't panic when others panic, and he doesn't rush when others rush, because he's evaluating consequences most people are blind to. He knows the fastest reward often becomes the fastest regret. He's seen people chase instant love and end up heartbroken, chase quick money and end up broke, chase rapid success and end up burned out. So he distances himself from anything that spikes quickly, because what spikes quickly dies quickly. His instinct is to build something durable, something that grows with time instead of collapsing under its own weight. This way of choosing transforms his entire identity. It gives him resilience when others crumble. It gives him direction when others drift. And it gives him quiet confidence because he knows every move he made was intentional, not impulsive. The paradox is that this slow and steady approach makes him appear effortlessly successful later on. People wonder how he stayed calm while they scrambled, how he stayed focused while they spiraled, how he kept rising while they kept restarting. They don't realize his advantage was created years earlier when he resisted the temptation to chase the fastest reward and instead selected the path built for long-term return. This is the Sigma male's hidden power. He plays for the future, not the moment, and the future always belongs to those who do. When a Sigma male filters life through long-term vision, something powerful happens. He stops living reactively and starts living architecturally. He builds, he recalibrates, he chooses with intention. And by the time the world finally understands what he was doing, it's already too late to catch up. That's the quiet advantage of the man who refuses shortcuts. The man who invests in depth, discipline, and direction while everyone else burns energy chasing flashes of reward that never last. If this breakdown opened your eyes to the way Sigma males operate beneath the surface, stay with the journey. Every video on this channel sharpens your awareness and exposes the hidden psychology that shapes power, resilience, and identity. Before you leave, tell me in the comments which long-term decision changed your life the most, or which one do you wish you had made earlier? Your answer might help someone else see further than they currently do. And if you want to keep growing, keep questioning, and keep evolving into the strongest version of yourself, subscribe to UltraWise. Missing the next video isn't just missing content, it's missing a shift in how you think, act, and lead.